Hello everybody and welcome back to Red Eagle Politics. Make sure you like this video down below and subscribe to the channel if you are new. So the GOP civil war is upon us. It is back. The entire GOP establishment is attacking Donald Trump over the most inconsequential things, sounding like entire leftists in the process, in an attempt to get him out of the way. Whether you support Donald Trump in 2024 or not, because I know we do have a lot of people that prefer Ron DeSantis, and I think that they're misguided, but still I'm willing to reason with them. But it's important to understand that they keep doing this, and you can't really deny it. They keep attacking him over things that really don't matter in the grand scheme of things, and the more that they do this, it's probably going to help Trump in the long run. In fact, it seemed as if they were kind of taking a backseat role, and they were kind of ignoring the fact that Trump exists, but now they are taking the bait again. They are going out there and attacking Trump. This has been a story that is about a dinner that Trump had with some people he didn't even know who they were. And it's covered the airwaves for over a week now. I believe this happened before Thanksgiving. It's absolutely ridiculous, but still the dishonesty is mounting up. And then we have a lot of people saying Trump is incapable of winning a presidential election in 2024. And I'm not even going to fully push back on that after what we saw take place in 2022. However, this notion that Ron DeSantis somehow can win a presidential election in 2024, also a massive uphill climb, especially if you have a divided party. And they would rather have a divided party and lose regardless of who the nominee truly is than actually rally behind somebody, give him all the support, give him all the resources, and win. This is the difference between Republicans and Democrats. Republicans are perfectly fine sabotaging their own because they would rather lose regardless, because if they have somebody in there that they cannot entirely control, then they would just rather compromise with the other side or be compromised in the process and give them basically half of what they want, if not all of what they want. So we're going to dive into this. We're going to talk a little bit about this dinner. We're also going to be talking about how it's being used as this wedge to try and sow more division in the party, to try and get more Trump supporters to defect. Will it actually happen? Will it work? And also 2024, what is going to happen? Who are the donors exactly backing, and could it very well backfire in the general election? We'll discuss it, but first I have to briefly tell you guys about the Second Amendment is my gun permit coin, because you know it better than anybody that gun rights are under attack in this country by the left. So what better way to get back than to claim your free coin? Just cover shipping. You get 10 per person max. It's a promotion to celebrate the grand opening of their website. And all orders are fulfilled within 24 hours on average, so act now. The link is in the description and the pinned comment down below. So here we go. The dinner. Oh no, Trump is finished this time. This is the latest scandal that they're trying to throw his way, because Trump had dinner with Kanye West, who was a rapper. He still is a rapper, actually. He's one of the most well-known artists in the world. He's been friends with Trump for years. He said some controversial things lately, no doubt, but still this dinner was scheduled before Kanye even said any of those controversial things. So Trump did decide to meet with him, and I don't really see why he wouldn't. He's an old friend who has been around Trump, I guess, in some capacity for the past 5 years. He visited the White House a couple of times. He's had disagreements with Donald Trump. He asked Trump to be his vice president, and Trump basically laughed at him. And that's really besides the point, and Trump is meeting with a potential political rival. So there's really nothing on the surface that is truly that controversial. But also, Kanye did bring several people to that dinner meeting, two of which Trump did not really know anything about or had never heard of before. He brought some like old Florida political strategists that Donald Trump did know very briefly many years ago, but he also brought controversial live streamer Nick Fuentes, as well as political commentator and provocateur Milo Yiannopoulos, who has been around for quite some time. And Everybody went crazy because of this, because he had people within 50 feet of him that happened to be a little controversial, even though he didn't know these people. What, do you expect him to Google search every single name of every single person within a 50-mile radius of the guy? I mean, that's just weird. That's not normal. Regardless of however you want to spin it. He knows Kanye. Kanye brought several people with him. What is he going to say? No, you have to go. I don't know you. I mean, at that point, they would be attacking him for being a bad host if the people that were eating with him happened to be different. But again, that's a little bit besides the point. These people have been hit with labels, mainly Nick, by the mainstream media, some of which these labels don't even apply. You could even argue whatever, but that's really beside the point here. Donald Trump did not know who these people truly were. And this is a whole big nothing burger. This should not even be talked about. And you have the left and you have the neocons. They hang out with all the worst people in existence, but they do it knowingly. They never disavow these people. There's no reason why we have to exactly cave in whatever. Trump can eat dinner with whoever the hell he wants to eat dinner with. This is very clearly about trying to stop Trump in their eyes and nothing else. And this is another reason, despite being an inconsequential one, that people are using to try and cast Trump aside in 2024. And you could look at the reactions from Kevin McCarthy, Mitch McConnell, a lot of these other people. They were mainly attacking Donald Trump for this and nothing else, because they will do everything in their power to get Donald Trump out of the picture. You look at the mega donors. They will do everything in their power, just like they tried to stop him in 2016. They're trying to stop him again. A lot of these mega donors that back Jeb Bush are backing Ron DeSantis. They're backing Glenn Youngkin. They're backing other Republicans instead of Donald Trump, the donor class, the old GOP class that have, failed to get elected time and time again. And whenever they've been able to win elections, they've been doing absolutely nothing. They've lost this country. Those are the people that are propping up Ron DeSantis. Those are the people that are propping up some of these other Republicans. So if you do support Ron DeSantis in 2024, know who your fellow travelers are, the people that are begging Ron DeSantis to run, and the people that are the mega donors, the people that are pouring money into his campaign, not people that are sitting at a dinner table 50 feet away from Donald Trump. No, these are the people that are the mega donors backing Ron DeSantis. They're backing these people, and they're doing everything possible to pump money into their campaigns before they're even started so they can have a say. DeSantis is a career politician. He's going to have to rely on a war chest. Where is he going to get that? It's not entirely going to be from his state of Florida. State politics, national politics, two different ball games. So just know that Ron is being used by these people, and hopefully he doesn't take the bait, but we'll have to see. I mean, if you're looking at these polls that they're putting out that show it 50-50, showing he has a chance to actually run and to be president, there you go. There it is. But by the way, it's just very evident that there are a lot of things that are being used against Trump rhetorically as of late. The midterms are another example of them. The midterm results are being used to drive this wedge between Trump and his base, because they say, hey, look, Trumpian candidates or candidates that Trump endorsed lost across a lot of these swing states. And because of that fact, we need to get Trump aside for the guy who won a swing state, or a former swing state, Florida, by 19 percentage points instead, because he knows how to win or something. And the GOP spent a lot of money and energy against a lot of these candidates in the primaries that were endorsed by Donald Trump, arguably more so than they spent helping them in the general. The only exception to this is in Georgia, Herschel Walker, because they know that nobody could beat him in a primary. So you had people like Nikki Haley, Mitch McConnell, all these other people backing him. Ironically, even though he was the weakest candidate of them all on paper, he's the only one that's still alive for right now. Also, the GOP, especially the GOP of a lot of these states where Donald Trump won in 2016 or came close again in 2020, like Michigan, Wisconsin, Pennsylvania in particular, but just the GOP nationwide, they don't know how to play the game to win. They don't understand how to navigate the electoral process. I talked about that in a recent video as well. But either way, it's important to note that the Trumpian candidates like Marjorie Taylor Greene Boebert in Colorado, Gosar in Arizona, some of the furthest right politicians in recent history in this country actually outperformed Donald Trump in 2020. Why? Because he was actually on the ballot. And Trump will bring the down ballot firepower. He does this time and time again. He did it back in 2016. The down ballot Republicans do overperform him, but he turns out a lot of voters who otherwise would not have voted, and they vote Republican down ballot. So he definitely helps the party out. There's really no evidence that Ron DeSantis at a national level is going to do this, but we'll really just have to wait and see what happens. Also, DeSantis doing well in Florida. They're going to use this as another example for why Ron DeSantis is going to just win everywhere. He'll win Pennsylvania, which I don't believe he can. We'll talk about that in a minute. He'll win Wisconsin. He'll win all these places. It's like John McCain would win Arizona like 75-25 back when he was a senator. Mitt Romney won Massachusetts big when he was governor. And both ended up losing substantially in 2008 for McCain and 2012 for Romney. Am I comparing DeSantis to Romney? No, I think he is much better than Romney. I think he is much better than McCain. But still, who's propping him up? A lot of those same people, and they don't know how to win either. They don't. So this is really just what it comes down to. And if this primary does happen, how are they going to simultaneously be attacking Trump from the right and from the left? Because they will do this. They will say Trump is associating with these far-right figures, many of which he doesn't know anything about, because he happened to be sitting at a dinner table with them, because Kanye West, a famous rapper, brought them, right? That's basically it. So they're going to be hitting him from the left, and they're also going to be hitting him from the right at the same time. Oh, he didn't do this that he promised to do. He didn't do that he promised to do, despite Ron DeSantis in Congress for his entire career opposing that brand of conservatism. Also, they're going to be like, oh, Trump failed when it came to defying Fauci. He shilled for the jab, despite Ron DeSantis also promoting it in Florida on numerous occasions. So basically, I don't understand how they're going to simultaneously effectively hit him from the right and from the left. I think that honestly, they'd be better off just attacking him based off of the midterm results, which is a very dishonest attack because the GOP basically threw a lot of these elections and a lot of these places. They were pulling money out of certain competitive races with Trumpian candidates, and they were giving money to people like Lisa Murkowski in Alaska, who was a rhino going up an America First candidate for that Senate seat there. They did everything possible to keep her in power instead of helping out other people. It's a total disgrace. But furthermore, we know that this divide in the party is going to be an absolute train wreck. Even George Conway, of all people, actually recognizes this. When he's the most sane person in the room, then you know that a lot of people have screwed up. But he actually has been right, even though he is definitely on the DeSantis side of things. He probably might even think that DeSantis is a little bit too far right for him. But he says even if DeSantis wins the 2024 nomination, he'll wind up with the always Trump 40% hating his guts. The alternatives for the GOP aren't pretty. Another national defeat led by Trump or intra-party civil war. And this is really what it comes down to, because DeSantis basically going up against the guy who essentially brought him into politics, helped him win in 2018 when he didn't know how to run his campaign, barely beat this crackhead by a hair. Yeah, he's been a good governor, we know that, but still, it's important to note that the establishment is baiting this guy to thwart the guy who brought a lot of these new voters into politics, voters that voted in 2016 and 2020 for the first time. There are plenty of those voters across the Midwest in the states you need to win in order to win the Electoral College. And these insufferable neo-never-Trumpers, some of the most insufferable people ever, not all people that support DeSantis over Trump, I think, are acting in bad faith. But the lion's share of them that are very, very insufferable if you've actually dealt with these people. And it's true. And looking at the 2024 map, if you do have a lot of defectors, because you will have people that may not actually turn out for Ron DeSantis, if it is a ugly primary, if DeSantis is attacking Trump, Trump's going to be attacking DeSantis, it's going down the wire, And let's say that DeSantis manages to edge out the nomination, especially with the help of the establishment conservative media, the establishment conservative mega donors, because that's definitely what it's going to come down to. That's how DeSantis is going to get his leg up in a primary. Okay, let's look at the swing map for the general election here. DeSantis is not going to win Wisconsin. I mean, Trump probably would, even if it is a divisive primary, just because of trends there, because he does have a unique support base there, because the Milwaukee suburbs are not necessarily that far gone compared to other suburbs across the nation. So one could argue that DeSantis would struggle more so. He probably would do better in those suburbs, but WOW doesn't make up the biggest share of the population in Wisconsin compared to other suburbs in other states, even like Pennsylvania or North Carolina. So I'll give Ron DeSantis Georgia because he is that person that can appeal more to the ancestral Republicans, could do a little bit better in suburban Atlanta. He's not going to be doing as well as Trump did even in 2016 there because the suburbs have changed. It's not even who it really gets the nomination at this point. Even Youngkin, he didn't match Romney's numbers in Nova. In fact, his numbers were better than Trump in 2016 there, but not by a ridiculous amount. But he did really well in the rural areas because he really engaged in the culture war effectively against an elitist candidate like Terry McAuliffe. So you talk about a state like Georgia. What about a state like North Carolina? I'll even give that one to DeSantis. I think he could win North Carolina. One could even argue he'd be a good fit for Arizona. He could do better than Trump in Eastern Maricopa County, whatever. I'll give him that. But what is the pathway? Because he's not winning Michigan, especially now that the Democrats have a trifecta with Whitmer. They're going to try to terraform that state as blue as they possibly can. And it's going to possibly be very hard for Republicans to get it back. I don't even think Trump would win the state of Michigan in 2024, even if the party united behind him. But let's say, I don't know, we're talking about Pennsylvania. I don't see it. Again, Ron DeSantis is somebody that opposes fracking, and this is an issue. And you might say, well, of course he opposes it in Florida because it's offshore, and even Trump opposed it there. But either way, that's all his track record really comes down to, is the average voter that's going to see these Ron DeSantis hates fracking ads in Pennsylvania necessarily going to be as enthused to turn out for him compared to Trump, who has kind of marketed himself as the energy president? I don't think so. You look at Dr. Oz and how he performed against Fetterman. That's probably how Ron DeSantis is going to perform against Biden in the state there. So there's no path to 270. Maybe you could argue, trends Nevada, he could get Nevada. That's true. That's Ron's ceiling. I'm not even sure that Donald Trump is going to be capable of winning in 2024, especially if the party is divided the other way, because then we say, okay, well, he's not going to be able to win Arizona at that point, especially with Maricopa. He's not going to be able to win Georgia, especially with trends in suburban Atlanta. So maybe he will pick off Nevada. We'll give him Wisconsin. And then it all comes down to Pennsylvania. But still, that's pretty much the map there. That's pretty much about it. Republicans, because they're divided, it doesn't even matter how hated that Joe Biden is. It is going to be an uphill climb for them to win in 2024. I'm giving it to you straight. And you could say, well, what about 2008? Because the Democrats were divided then, but it's everybody hated Bush. He had a 20% approval rating, and McCain was so milquetoast he couldn't really turn out anybody except those who just didn't like Obama. But even so, 15% of McCain's supporters voted for Hillary Clinton in the primary. There was just a ridiculous turnout in that primary. There were actually a lot of defectors of Hillary Clinton. I think that she possibly could have won states such as West Virginia, even Arkansas, Kentucky would have been closer. And she probably would have won states like Missouri as well had she been the nominee in 2008, and this is very true. So the divided primary will be more of a factor because, like they say, Trump has a unique support base, people that are only Trumpers. Just like he has the never Trumpers, he also has the only Trumpers. And the only Trumpers could really screw up the electoral map for Republicans, and this is true. And I know I'm going to get a lot of people that come in here that are going to sit here and try to discredit my claims or discredit my predictions because somehow I got an election map wrong the way that 90 to 95% of other people did, whether they were on the left or whether they were on the right. So apparently I'm not allowed to have an opinion on anything ever again. And it's just like, okay, name me anybody who could have predicted an R+3 national environment but had Republicans barely taking the House back and possibly losing one Senate seat. Not a single person in their right mind would have predicted that, but that's really beside the point. What we do know is that we can look back at this and we could see where there were problems. Where did the predictions go wrong? And you look at turnout and the turnout drop across a lot of these middle American swing states, and you could look back at them and you could say that's a problem. And then we could talk about Arizona and Nevada, but I don't know, maybe on some other social media platform. That's beside the point. What we do know is that 2024 is going to be an uphill climb for Republicans. And that much is very, very true. So anyways, guys, thanks for watching this video. Like this video down below, comment down below, and subscribe to the channel. Hit the bell for notifications so you never miss another video. Follow me on social media. The links are all in the description down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching. Red Eagle, out.